Square me. Up and down. Oh well, I had to drop it eventually, didn't I? First drop in the sand. Righto guys, well I finally bit the bullet. I talked about it for long enough and the day has arrived and I'm gonna bought myself an adventure bike. As you don't already know by the bloody title of this video, or if anybody's been following me on Instagram as well, I've been leaning towards wanting to get on the dirt for a long time, and you know, like when I go out for long rides on the Harley, I know plenty of people go off-road on Harleys and all that sort of stuff, and but I don't know, that's not fun for me. And I wanted to get something that was just really capable of taking me down the back roads, and I researched a ton of bikes, and the DR650 just kept coming up all the time. I like its simplicity, you know, one of those bikes that sort of just tractors along. You know, it kind of got all the spec that you need and nothing that you don't need, which I kind of like about it. And the fact that adventure riding is all really new to me, I didn't really want anything that was going to be too sort of too difficult to get my head around. First impressions of riding the DR650 is that the bike is so light. I'm going to spend a lot of time drawing comparisons with the Harley, because that's just what I'm used to this point. So yeah, it's so much lighter than the Harley Davidson for obvious reasons. It's a dual sport motorbike, and all the riding that I've done on it to this point, which is what, 20-30 k's, have just all been on tire until this morning. So we're just going to give the tire a little bit of a quick blast to see what that's like, and then we'll head back and we'll have a little bit of a chat about all the mods that I'm going to do to the bike to sort of set it up and make it more suitable for me. A lot of people recommended the DR400 over the DR650, but I don't know, I need something that's capable of going on the highway as well. I want something that can take me on the bitumen to the tar, and I felt like the DRZ400 might just be a little bit too small a bike for that. So now the other thing that is glaringly different about this bike than the Harley is the height of the seat. Now I'm only a little short ass, so I'm about 5'6", and yeah, I have to get used to that whole one-legged thing. You know, when you're stuck at the traffic lights on the Harley, you just plant 2 feet in the ground and no dramas. You feel very planted, you know. But at the traffic lights on the DR, it's 1 foot down only. Now there is an option to lower the bike the factory way. You lower the front suspension and then you lower the rear suspension, as well as the lowering link underneath the bike, and that's something that I might look at. I just thought I'd just run the bike as it is for now and see how it goes. Such a beautiful morning this morning, beautiful day to put the DR through its paces. And when I say I'm going to put the DR through its paces, I'm not going to be doing anything crazy. I'm just going to take on a little bit of dirt, see how that feels, and then we'll head back and have a chat about what I'm going to do with the bike. I'm running the stock tires at the moment as well. I've got the tire pressures down to around about 25 psi, which is really nice on the tire. Like, it feels good. But how the stock tires perform on the dirt is going to be another thing, but we'll give it a go. So something else I'm noticing is that the gearing, let's see if I can sort of word this right and explain what I mean. The gearing seems to be really low on it. So normally speaking, if I'm cruising around in the Harley, I'd sort of, right now I'd be in 3rd or 4th gear, whereas I can't seem to do that on this bike. Around town I seem to be sort of 1st and 2nding it all the time. and then any higher than that it seems to start lugging. Now I know that the sprockets have got a lot to do with that and that sort of stuff, and you can change how the bike's geared with the different sprockets, so I'll take a look at that as well. But like I find when I'm riding along and the bike seems to be revving quite high, and then I change gears, unless I maintain that or like increase the speed by a little bit, it starts to lug. Alright, we're just coming into the 100 zone. How does it feel doing 100 k's an hour? The bike's revving its tits off, and it's definitely, because it's so much lighter than the Harley, you definitely feel the wind. So I definitely think changing the sprockets will make this thing feel a bit better in the top speeds. But it's certainly purring along, no problem there. Just takes a bit of getting used to, that's all. So I've only done about 30 k's on this bike so far, and I'm just sort of getting used to the bike more than anything. So it's definitely got plenty of pick up and go, there's no doubt about that. It's light and it's responsive on the throttle. Eventually I'm just going to have to stop drawing comparisons with the Harley on it, you know, and just treat it like the different beast that it is. And yeah, let's see how the stock tires hold up in the dirt. I'll head a couple of k's out here, guys, just see what it's like, and then we'll head back. Right, we're on the gravel. Always feels so nice just to get onto the back roads and the back trails and just get away from people. And doing this kind of shit on the Harley, even though it can be done, just isn't going to be as much fun, you know? I mean, challenges are all well and good, but I don't know. It's whatever floats your boat, I guess. So these stock tires feel pretty good in the gravel. Yeah, they feel pretty good. Not as skatey as I thought they'd be, but yeah, not bad. Bit of sand. Ooh. Oh. You got to power through that sand because momentum does seem to be your friend. I'm not going fast, guys. I'm just doing about 30 or 40 k's an hour, just getting used to it. But you can definitely feel the back tire wash out a little bit on the sand, which is kind of fun actually. It was kind of cool. Alright. Ooh, squirmy. That squirminess is going to take a bit of getting used to, that's for sure. Rocks. Oh. Nerve-wracking but kind of fun at the same time. So anybody who's watching this and has done this kind of shit before, just take it easy on me. This is all new. See, if I was on the Harley Davidson now, I'd be having a hell of a time. I can trying to keep it up, and I'd be bloody squirmy and skatey and all over the joint, and it'd be shit house. But this bike's nice and light, so it's fun. So I bought a ton of accessories as well for the bike. Oh, Jesus. Change gears there a bit, might make it easier. See, it's funny with the gears, I'm trying to gauge the speed at which each gear I need to be in. Oh, screw me. Up and down. Oh well, I had to drop it eventually, didn't I? First drop on the sand. That's alright. Let's get it back up. Fuck. It's quite deep, the sand there. Whew. Deep sand, but I got the bike up real easy. Wasn't too bad. We'll head a bit further up and then we'll just turn it around. But you know, a lot of dirt bikes don't really do it for me in terms of what they look like, but I really like the look of this bike. There's something, I don't know, just something about it that I just like the look of. I don't know, can you call a dirt bike an attractive looking bike, but I like the look of this bike. Alright, let's move up a bit further. See if I can keep this bike upright, eh? One of the key things that I have to learn is not slowing down in the sand. So I come up to a sandy section, I know that I've got to power through it, but my brain says slow down, and then you slow down, and then the squirmy bits get even worse, and then you sort of sink in a bit and then you drop it. So yeah, power through the sand is the key. But it's one thing saying it, and it's another thing doing it. And don't forget, of course, I'm running the stock tires, squirmy, so it will be interesting to see what the Dunlop D606, I'll say that again, it'll be interesting to see what the Dunlop D606 tire is like on the rear. And I've also got a Pirelli MT21 tyre for the front, so it'll be interesting to see what those two tyres are like by comparison to the stock tyres. You know, will it feel just as squirmy? Is this just the nature of it and it's going to feel really squirmy regardless, or will it feel a bit better? Just making sure my bag's still there. Yep. Alright guys, let's head back. Alright guys, we're back at the house. By the way, it's night time now. I've been really busy all day. Look, that track wasn't a hard track at all. I'm just a shit rider, getting used to it, but it was heaps of fun. But certainly there was a little bit of sand that was a little bit deep in sections, and then when I went into that real sandy bit when I dropped the bike, I think I was revving the crap out of it and I wasn't going anywhere. I think I might have ended up actually just putting it in neutral. I'm not sure what happened there, but whatever it was, it would have been my fault. But look, had fun and really enjoyed it. And but I just want to quickly show you what I'm going to do to the bike. Oh Jesus, getting a bit busy in here. So I've made a little bit of a list of everything that I'm going to do to the bike, just to I suppose put a bit of structure to it. And as you can see, I've actually got a fair bit of this stuff just sitting here, which I'll go through in the next video. But as I said earlier in this video, there's a bit of a storm actually outside at the moment, and some really good lightning too. So lower the suspension, I've decided I'm going to do it. I've seen a few videos on YouTube on how to lower the suspension the correct way. There's a few different ways of doing it, but there's a factory way of doing it, so I'm going to do that. And then I've got all these things I'm going to do are pretty much stuff that I think are going to be beneficial to the bike and beneficial to me, and set it up for touring and stuff like that. Like, you know, for example, luggage rack, a windscreen, primarily just sort of, I suppose, stone chips coming up, and also maybe protect my GPS. I'm going to change the tires from the stock ones, so I'm going to go back out into that track again in a couple of days, and I'm going to give myself a bit more time, and I'm going to hammer through that track and try and ride it a bit better. And I'm going to do it on the stock trail wings that are on the bike, and then once I've done that, I'm then going to change over to this set of bad boys over here. This is a Dunlop D606 rear tire and a Pirelli MT21 Rallycross for the front. But I want to just get used to the bike a bit more on the stock tires, and then swap over. You can really hear that storm. Then swap over to the newer tires, and then I can compare. So that's something that I want to also do. I'm going to wire up a USB charger, a double USB charger, so I can charge my phone up and also the GPS. I'm going to upgrade the headlight, pannier racks, long range fuel tank, and then also a shorter side stand for the bike once it's been shortened. Bash plate, case savers, a lot of the very standard sort of modifications. Found a good tool tube. What else there? Mirrors, DRC folding mirrors, which I've bought. Bark busters. Yeah, so heaps of things that are going to be beneficial to the bike, and also I like the look of them. So kind of like I suppose an aesthetic thing as well, but also you know, it's got practical application as well. So but yeah, alright guys, thanks for watching. In a couple of days time we're going to head out back on that track again, as I said, and we're going to give it a bit more of a rip, and then in a few videos after that we're going to commence our video bike building series, where we're going to do all those things to the bike that I've been talking about. Alright, see you guys in the next one.